The 9900K has been a great CPU, but it's time to move on. For the first time in over a decade, my main system will be powered by AMD. I've made the switch from Intel to AMD, from Core i9 to Ryzen 9. The 9900K was and still is an amazing CPU. Overclocked, those things can run over 5 GHz on all 8 cores, which is super impressive. But where the 9900K was coming up short for me was with multitasking. As someone who regularly uses their computer to edit and render 4K video, among other things of course, I can't have 100% of my CPU being utilized just to render the video. And that's exactly what was happening with the 9900K. Basically, the system was unusable while rendering a video for anything other than like browsing the web. So my quest for more CPU cores naturally led me over to AMD, or should I say back to AMD, because I was an AMD user once before. However, that was over a decade ago when the Athlon 64 CPUs were around. Oh my God, that just made me feel so old. AMD's 3rd generation Ryzen CPUs based on their Zen 2 microarchitecture completely changed the game when it comes to high performance computing. They've managed to catch up and possibly even surpass Intel in terms of instructions per clock cycle, and when you combine that with the high core counts AMD offers on the mainstream platform, you get some seriously impressive and powerful CPUs. I've opted to go with the flagship of the 3rd generation mainstream product stack from AMD, the Ryzen 9 3950X. This is a 16-core, 32-thread monster of a CPU. I dropped it into an Asus ROG Strix X570E gaming motherboard with 32 GB of Vengeance Pro memory, a Cooler Master ML360R 360mm all-in-one liquid cooler, loads of storage, and a GTX 1080 Ti. And yes, I'm still using a GTX 1080 Ti, and I don't plan to upgrade until I see the next generation GPUs from both AMD and NVIDIA. I haven't had a whole lot of time to play around with the new hardware yet, but I did run some quick tests to see the initial difference between the 9900K and the 3950X. Running the 3D Mark TimeSpy CPU test, we can see that the 3950X has a commanding lead over the 9900K even when it's overclocked to 5.1 GHz. In the Asus Realbench heavy multitasking test, you can really see the 3950X pull ahead of the 9900K. Again, it doesn't matter if the 9900K is overclocked or not, it is getting demolished by the 3950X, which I mean makes sense because the 3950X has double the cores and threads. In Blender, I ran the AMD Ryzen demo and simply measured the length of time it took to complete on each CPU. Overclocking the 9900K can certainly shave a few seconds off of your render time, but look at that performance of the 3950X. It's about double that of a stock 9900K. In Cinebench R15, the single core tests are really telling an interesting story. Check this out. The 3950X is coming in somewhere between the stock and overclocked 9900K, showing you that AMD has managed to close that gap in terms of of IPC. And then turning your attention to the multi-core test, I mean, what's there to really say about this? The 3950X absolutely demolishes the 9900K. Next up are a few gaming tests, and I ran all of these tests at a resolution of 1080p to see if we can really bring out any performance differences between the CPUs. In Overwatch, the 3950X can't quite keep up with the 9900K's super high clock speeds, which is not really surprising. But a score of 242 frames per second is really not bad at all. You're not really gonna notice a difference between 242 and 260 coming from the 9900K. Still though, it highlights the difference between the two CPUs. In Quake Champions, the difference is even more pronounced, with the 3950X losing by a decent margin to the stock 9900K and quite a bit more to the overclocked 9900K. The frame rate in Rocket League is capped at 250 frames per second, and any one of these CPUs is pretty much gonna keep you at that limit with a 1080 Ti. And finally, the Rise of the Tomb Raider benchmark once again shows the 3950X not quite able to keep up with the 9900K. So what you give up in clock speed with the 9900K, you more than make up for in multi-core performance with the 3950X. And for content creators like me, that's a big deal. I'm really looking forward to having this new hardware and messing around with it and producing a lot more Ryzen-based content. And I'd like to finish things off here with an epic fail. Remember this scene from the beginning where I was tossing the 9900K box into the trash bin? I actually took 4 takes of that. I wanted to have enough different options available so that when I got into post-production, I would have at least one good take to work with to make the final video. The first 3 takes, no problem. But the 4th, despite being a few feet away, I completely missed the trash bin and the box fell on the floor and shattered. I mean, it's not really a big deal because it's just a box, but it's ridiculous because when I got the footage back onto the computer, the very first take number 1, was the best one. So all of the takes after that, including the one that broke it, were completely unnecessary. Awesome. Anyways, guys, there's gonna be links down in the description for all of the hardware that you can see here. Consider shopping with them. It helps support the creation of videos just like this one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. See ya.